Previously on We Promise Nothing.
I do have to admit, actually, Kathy did remind me of one aspect. As a child, I used to be terrified of the full fucker. Excuse my French. I mean, let's face it, we're talking a short-legged little freak who loved to flail his arms in the air wherever he went. Apparently he was more French than I was with his hands, for crying out loud.
And now, this week's episode.
Don't go, E.T. We're about to do a podcast and you can be in it.
Ow.
Hey, before you go, can we do that thing where you drink beer and I get drunk?
Here's my last beer, Elliot. Lipp.
Aw, thanks, E.T. You're the best.
E.T., hurry up. We got a party to attend to at Gamma Sector 6.
Sweet.
Aw, I'm gonna miss that little short-legged freak.
Jpar, and tonight we are listening to the We Promise Nothing podcast. Got a little ahead of myself. Tonight we have Lipp Boo, Robin, Kathy, and Lipp with us. Before we get started, I'd like to give a big shout out to SoundsLikeAnEarful.com for that awesome music that we use on the show. Check them out, SoundsLikeAnEarful.com. We did a interesting little skit before we started the show tonight. It was based on E.T., which was our review last week. And so that brings us to our first question. But first, just to let you know, we're going to review Princess Mononoke later on in this show. But before we do that, Boo, what would it be like to have a pet alien?
Pet alien? What, are we talking about those little creepy dolls?
Well, I mean, similar. It might not be similar to E.T., maybe not so similar to E.T., but how would you keep an alien a secret?
I don't know if I had a little bobblehead alien to follow me around there most of the time, and I definitely would, see the benefit in that. But I don't know exactly what I'd do with such a thing. I really don't.
How would you keep it hidden from your parents?
Well, why would I be keeping it from my parents here? What the hell's going on with
Well, I don't know. I'm just going with the E.T. premise here. But you would have to keep it hidden from other people. I know, the Men in Black in the E.T. movie, they weren't, too secretive or anything. They're kind of here, let's build a bridge over to the house and draw a lot of attention here. But in the real world, the Men in Black would be more secretive about it, and they try to keep us. How would you keep a secret from them? What would, because you couldn't tell everyone, right?
If we're talking about such a small thing to hide from the Men in Black, I don't know.
How small is it?
Behind the drapes.
How small is your E.T.?
Wow, I don't know how to take that question, guys. I don't know. I'm going to just base it upon the E.T. that I was actually thinking of what we were seeing in today's movie, actually, more than anything. I don't know. As a kid, I always figured E.T. was just one of these small little goblin-like creatures. So, to hide such a thing, I don't have a doll set, so I can't hide it amongst the dolls. You certainly wouldn't fit amongst all the action figures I have on. I don't know. Maybe if you dressed up a little more like Gizmo from Gremlins, maybe.
What if he was like an alien that looked like everyone there looked like people from just the assassins from Assassin's Creed? Then he could hide along your action figures and the house.
I'm trying to visualize E.T. running the rooftops.
Short, freaky legs.
Yeah.
With his short, freaky legs.
Every time he'd go to leap from one rooftop to the next, he'd be always falling short. Every time he'd be constant ouch.
Robin, how would you handle having to cater to an alien trying to hide it from the Men in Black or the whoever's out to get it?
Well, I would probably dress it up as a doll or a cat. Ooh, make it a cat.
You dress it up as a cat.
Do
you really what? Do you think people would fall for that though?
Well, I wouldn't tell people about it, right?
So you you wouldn't tell people about it. So why would you dress it up like a cat then?
Just in case.
What do you turn to your neighbor and just say, "Oh, ignore the cow. We just found it somewhere."
It's just the ugliest cat.
Meanwhile, it's got scales and everything. It's one of those furless cats.
Walking on its hind legs at all times.
It's one of those ugly, ugly cats. Please ignore my ugly cat.
It's a little sensitive about it.
Yeah, you're hurting its feelings.
He'll say, "Oh, my heart is meowing."
So you would play on their sensitivity, really? You would do that?
Yeah, you're hurting its feelings. Stop saying that.
Someone turns to you and says, "Your cat's ugly." What the fuck, man?
No.
You're ugly.
Oh, it's prettier than you. You look like my cat's ass.
Kathy.
I would like to hear him meow. I'd say that.
Meow. Would you buy the cat story?
Well,
Like if you're going over to Robin's and she's got like
because I know Robin and I know her love for cats, and no matter what they really look like, that if I went there and I seen this weird ass looking cat, I'd be like, meh, it's Robin. So, and she wouldn't lie to me, ever, Robin. And no, I'm just kidding.
What? What? Where?
How many chocolate chip cookies?
Yeah.
No, but I would believe her just because it's Robin and I trust her.
Do you have a better plan from hiding the alien from the government?
I would close the curtains and watch TV with it.
It's like this is what humans are like. Watch TV.
Calm them down.
Whatever
make
you
sure
do,
you're very calm.
whatever you do, don't change the Fox News because the aliens are gonna lose total respect for us after they see that bullshit.
Well, I'm not gonna make them watch cable. They'll be specifically picked programming.
Watch
that
Disney
you would watch.
movies, Disney cartoons.
Some might frighten it, so I'm really not sure.
Yeah,
So maybe some tones.
like the
music,
scene with the pink elephants in Dumbo. That would be.
That might frighten them.
Yeah, totally.
You don't know. That might be part of his biggest nightmare.
Heffalumps
So I
and
would have to do a little
Woozles.
bit more
Heffalumps and
research.
Woozles from Winnie the Pooh.
You
Scary
never know.
shit.
You never know.
What about you? Is their plans good there, Lipp?
No,
Or
their
is-
plans suck. You gotta hide the alien. You gotta keep him in the attic. Feed him a bucket of fish heads every week.
Fish heads, fish heads.
Or what?
But yeah, you gotta keep him hidden.
Hubert.
Hubert, yes.
Hubert.
Heads. Oh no, let's not start.
Hugo.
Hugo. Oh, Hugo, not Hubert.
Hugo.
Oh, wow. That's
Get the
terrible.
facts straight.
We promise nothing.
Okay, I want to add something here. The Fox and Friends mention. I just wanted to mention that there's a quote that's freaking hilarious.
What is Fox and
Fox
Friends?
and Friends.
Well, you were talking. Don't let him see Fox News because he'd think.
Oh.
But and I'm sorry, Doctor Who quote. There's a horror movie named Alien. That's really offensive. No wonder everybody keeps trying to invade you. Come on. That's no okay.
Tough crowd.
Tough crowd.
That went right over our heads.
I suppose it did.
There's a horror movie named Alien? That's really offensive. No wonder everybody keeps invading.
Okay, I get it. Read it again and explain it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay,
Explain this image.
That's not an image here.
Oh,
Take a look.
Okay, yeah.
I think when you read it
So,
out loud,
yeah, here's the quote. And this is from Doctor Who, right?
Yes.
Okay. There's a horror movie named Alien? That's really offensive. No wonder everybody keeps invading you. So, like, think about it like a interdimensional thing after actual aliens, you know what I mean? And there's a horror movie named...
Alien.
Right, exactly. As if, like, everyone was afraid of midgets and we named a horror movie named Midget, you know? And then that'd be awful. So...
that sounds awesome.
I think it was called Chucky. Or
It's better
Child's
than
Play.
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. I mean,
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Yes.
By the way, actually, here's your chance. Speaking of horror movies like Child's Play and Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, if the people listening to the show, if there is such a thing, we're gonna do horror movies. We're gonna review horror movies all through the month of October. I was actually thinking we could choose our own, but if you guys actually want to request a few in the comments below, then we'll definitely consider them. We'll take a look at what they are, and maybe we will review your movie that you choose on there. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm up for that. I love horror movies.
That would
so.
work.
It doesn't have to be horror. It could be 80s.
It could be monster related or Halloween related. It doesn't have to be necessarily a horror. It could be anything Halloween related, monster related.
The Monster Mash.
It is the monster.
I was
mash.
thinking the Wolfman's got nards.
Yeah, Monster Squad. I was thinking we do need to revisit Monster Squad. That would be
My
keen.
goodness. That's been
That would be great.
years.
We are taking requests.
We are taking requests, ladies and gentlemen.
That was another.
We promise nothing, but we do promise to take at least one request out of the comments below. Please do it now. And if not now, then do it later. And if not later, then please pay attention to us. Alright, speaking of great movies, the Wolfman has nards.
Wolfman Jack.
I am the Wolfman.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Let's switch it over to tonight's movie review, which is Princess Mononoke. Requested by Lipp. It is in anime. Let's see, we got a few facts here. Princess Mononoke was released in Japan in 1997 and in the US in 1999. It was critically acclaimed and a commercial success in Japan, becoming the highest grossing film of all time, until Titanic came out there later, that year. And it was translated to English by Miramax Films. Has the voice talents of Billy Crudup, Billy Bob Thornton, Minnie Driver, John DiMaggio, Claire Danes, Jada Pinkett Smith, Gillian Anderson, and Keith David. Lipp requested this one, so I'll turn the review over to him first. Tell us what you think of Princess Mononoke.
Well, I absolutely loved it. It's a great movie. I watched it a few months ago, and I enjoyed it just as much today. It's a movie I remember from my childhood, and it always had just amazing drawings, amazing pictures, scenery, and the storytelling's fantastic. There's a reason it's so popular, and it constantly gets high reviews. So I think it was definitely worth another third, fourth. I don't even know how many times I've seen it now. 5 times.
I've seen it probably more than 5 times. I used to own this movie, and I really do enjoy this movie. I really enjoy drawn animation as opposed to the computer animation, and maybe it's a part because I'm an artist myself. And I really do think that this movie is drawn really well, and the story is really, really well done. And it's not something that you'll see the same compared to American animation if you're holding it up against like a DreamWorks or a Disney kind of thing. It's totally different. What do you think, Bo?
Well, I'm going to have to agree with that. I think for me the biggest, because this was my first experience with the movie, so for me I think the first thing that stood out was the clarity of detail, I think, for every given scene. I might have to agree there's even today's standards, I feel like that were kind of almost a letdown because they seem to be more of a lazy approach to animation, but it had more to do with the dramatics of action sequences and whatnot, or the way you would transition in and out of such a scene. But I'll use one prime example. I mean, the simple thing like water, how it's been translated into classic animation these years, over the last several years. But I mean, the leaps and bounds we've seen with digital animation certainly helps. However, this was a perfect example of where classic animation could literally be done in such a proper manner that you didn't have to worry about relying on those special effects. It was just a very well drawn animation.
Yeah.
To simply put.
Definitely.
I do have to commend though with the voiceover that they had to do from translating from Japanese to North American, or English, obviously. It was more a matter of the detail that went into the voice acting just as much as that animation was done in the first place. So the acting I thought was well done too.
Yeah, the great voice acting in this. What do you think, Robin?
I agree that it was a great movie. The storyline was, though done before, they found a new take on it.
Right, I was saying it was kind of similar to like the Fern Gully, Avatar, and those kind of movies. And the
It's kind of a save the planet, and humans are destroying.
Well, and it does it in a non-preachy way. It does
absolutely.
It delivers it in a story that's like scary and also fantastic in ways.
Well, it kept my attention the whole time. It rarely did I say, "Oh, come on," because I didn't care that anything was beyond the realm of possibility. It was entertaining and funny and fun. I disagree about the animation, though, what you were saying. I think it was well animated. It was beautiful, but I've seen Disney do it, and before this came out. So...
Well, we're not saying it's the first time it was done.
No, but
the way the technique was applied to the given...
Jay compared it to Disney animation and said it's better. I say...
How dare you!
You might be wrong.
Disney has definitely applied some awesome animation. I'm not going to take away anything from their feature films, but they've kind of drawn away from it, which is unfortunate. I don't know. I just seen things. And even in animes, not even just Princess Mononoke, I've seen animation styles and the way things flow in certain animes, and there's just like a beautiful. Maybe it's just the way the Japanese do it. It's like a beautiful technique, a beautiful animation. It just flows so fluently. And I mean, I'm not saying that there isn't those moments in Disney, but I mean, I feel like they accomplish things here that a Disney movie still wouldn't be able to accomplish. Whether it be storyline-wise or even the animation, I feel the animation just does have its own side to it compared to a Disney movie. The style is different.
Well, if I might add, sorry, just one thing that crossed my mind the entire time was that this was not a child's movie, which I think is another way you would have a hard time comparing to Disney in this particular case. Putting that aside, though, I kind of felt like that's actually a comment you made earlier about how nothing obviously caught you by surprise because a lot of it was overly dramatic, which was the whole point of their animation, right? One that did catch me off guard, though, and I guess because of the way it was done, had to do with the transition he had done with receiving that mark on his arm, and then going from that to basic human status to almost superhuman abilities, almost to a point, right? So suddenly he picks up his bow he's always been using, and then suddenly decides, I'm going to fire off an arrow like I usually do. Boom! There goes the guy's arm off the other end. The sheer force of the velocity was enough to tear the guy's arm off. I mean, I thought that was just like...
Or head at one point.
Head's exploding. Forget about coming off. But I think that was part of the reasoning why I felt like I suddenly snapped into reality thinking, oh, it's that kind of movie. Oh, okay. So because of that, I felt like the entire movie, I could not have been shocked any more so than that one scene, and that kind of allowed me to kind of keep my... I don't know if that's a good way of putting it, but I kept my standards a little lower when my expectations came around and they were fulfilled,
Yeah, well, it takes place in a fantasy universe, right? You have all these kind of gods and mystic creatures and forest spirits. So, I think it's pretty easy to believe a lot of this, superhuman strength because he's been infected with a curse and stuff like that.
But he never acted surprised in any way, shape, or form of anything that happened to him.
No, he's a very neutral character, the main character.
Okay. Oh, I'm going to die? Okay. Oh, very painfully. Sure.
Yeah, he's a very neutral character, and he has that kind of attitude throughout the whole movie, trying to bring everybody together. And
that's funny because I found the female characters were much more developed in this movie.
Yes.
And we're also very strong in this movie.
Well, the thing is, as well, when he was cursed, he was also told that any kind of anger or whatever would actually speed up the process. So I thought he was just purposely, the way I took it is that he was purposely trying to stay very calm through the entire thing so it would stop or slow down the spread of the curse. I could be wrong, but that's how I always took it.
He was very calm before he was told that, though.
True enough.
He was told the painful death thing beforehand, and he took that really well.
He just seems very aloof, he just seems to be very accepting of his place in the world.
I think you could say he was almost like a stereotypical anti-hero, right? He didn't want to be the one to burden this need to have to carry, the responsibility to kill the one thing that actually tainted him in the first place. He had to venture off, but more importantly, he was exiled from his own village. So I think for me, that acceptance of something so harsh was hard to take, but because he had to take it so abruptly, he kind of went cold. It's like, oh, okay. Well, I gotta go now. Okay, guys, I'll just go now. It wasn't obviously that easy, but in the animation aspect of it, I think in the way they told the story, they kind of had to skip that along. So yeah, you're right. But come on, it's like Lipp had said, it's a fantastical story. So you almost have to put a lot of those simplicities. I can't say completely aside, but you almost want to simply accept it for what it is. I think that's the one downside to such a told story when it's too fantastical. Fantastical.
Alright, so, Kathy, did you have any final comments about Princess Mononoke?
Oh, I've always loved that movie. I've watched it several times. I'm actually not a huge fan of anime, but I love this movie.
In my opinion, it's the best anime I've seen.
Yeah, by far. Well, it is my favorite by far. I think it was just visually stimulating. It was funny. It was good. You know what I mean? It was funny at parts and serious at parts. You know what I mean? Just kept my attention throughout. It's just something that I've always carried, and my favorite is the little spirits with the little heads.
They look like bobbleheads.
As anime goes, it was one of the easiest to follow.
Yes.
The storyline, you didn't go, what the heck is going on?
It's not like Akira or Ghost in the Shell where you're like, what is happening here? Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed everything about that movie.
And I do have to admit, they had done a really great job with the emphasis on I'm almost torn between the words creepiness and disgusted. You know, like the way the animation was in that. It's like you had literally said, Lipp, you know, it was almost too creepy to kind of wrap your head around until you actually see it. So it's like, okay, well, it's more than just little slugs climbing around. It's almost like an entity all in itself.
And yeah, there's a lot of like scary creatures in this. Like, I mean, it's
definitely. I remember watching it at 12 or 13 years old and just thinking, you know, like, oh, that creature's so creepy. It has all these disgusting tentacles coming out of it and stuff. And
you know what was even just as equally creepy but almost majestic in the same way was the God of the Forest. It was almost like it was the equal and almost complete opposite to the the creature, the demon that we had seen at the beginning, right? But here comes along some kind of weird elk-looking thing with a human face, and every time it stares at you, I swear to God, you don't know what the hell it's thinking.
Is that called a chimera? I was
Chimera?
No, the name of it, something that
Chimera?
has different...
Chimera.
I think chimeras are usually a different
Yeah, they
breed.
generally are a breed of two different animals, like two mixed together.
I think depending on the culture.
Which is actually something that was used a lot in Full Metal Alchemist, which is another anime.
Going back to your comment, though, Lipp, about how it was almost like a story that was not meant for kids, and you had to obviously digest that the second they started killing things and members being ripped apart and whatnot. But when the forest god got shot in the on the side of the head out of nowhere, and it kind of had this glare of like deer's eyes stuck in the headlights, But anyway, it
very
got
creepy,
my
very
attention once
creepy
again.
face.
It was almost like okay, there's another moment I didn't expect to have happen, and on top of that, his entire head comes off. Like that was ridiculous. Okay, but again, by then I had already accepted it, so.
Well, even though that wasn't intended for children, in all reality, we all watched it when we were children, aside from Boo.
No.
Not you, because I wasn't a child when I saw it.
Compared to now. Back then,
I was like a college student.
Okay, okay, college students, still children.
Mentally,
yeah. I'm still mentally a child.
Yeah.
I suppose.
Nice try.
But I was young.
Nice
I just feel so long ago. Maybe I thought it was
You're still young, Kathy. You're still young. All right, so let's wrap this up. Lipp, lead the way. What's your rating on this? And don't forget, you got to rate it compared to other animations and also other movies as well.
Okay.
Consider everything.
Well, okay, consider everything. Like, great music score. Love the music in it. Great animation. Beautiful looking. Voice acting was great. I love the story. I'm stuck between a 4.5 and a 5 right now. I'm going to give it a 4.5.
Yeah, that was tough to go first because I didn't know what to say either. As an animation, it's definitely a 5. As a movie, I do find it runs a little bit long in the middle, so I'm going to say 4.5 as a movie. But if I was comparing it to other animations, I would give it a 5.
I think for me it almost stays at a 4, but only for the fact that, I don't know, it's like you said, it ran a little long at a variety of points for me, so it wasn't so much the story wasn't well written, it's just that it had little areas that were, I guess, not complete fluff, like they could have been done without. So I guess for me, I'm going to stick to a 4.
I agree on the 4. It may be even a little lower, but I enjoyed it, but it's not something if I got to choose this or that, which one would I watch? I'd watch Kiki's Delivery Service before that one.
That's another great one, that's true.
It was good, but I'd go Disney first, So I'd say probably 4 for the fact that I did like it. Kathy?
I'm going to go a 4.5 because it may not be the first movie I would always run to watch or whatever, but it's definitely in my top. So definitely 4.5.
Yeah. Now I feel the difference between this and E.T.
Well, you
no,
can't
hold
even
on.
compare.
I'm just saying. No, you can't compare it, obviously. But I'm just saying, time-wise, the test of time. I found E.T. a little cheesy these days. While this I love, and it's already 15 years old, 15 plus years old.
Shit. I didn't even think about how old it was.
Right. So I don't. What was the year for E.T. again?
82.
82. So this is actually
And this was
97. So 15 years difference. I guess it's a difference of 30 to 15 years, but
Well,
Not 15, it's like 13, yeah.
the thing is, it's really hard
30 to
for
15.
for cartoons to become, well, not cartoons, but feature-length cartoons to be cheesy. Like, the story is usually made specifically to be something you can watch 20 years from now and still enjoy it. I think the cartoon filmmakers try to do that on purpose, so that it'll become what's thought of as a classic, and children of all ages can watch it, or at this point, teenagers of all ages could watch it. A lot of teenagers would love this kind of movie.
Well, it's definitely not for young kids. That is for sure. Young adults, sure. Alright, so pretty decent reviews from us here. And we promise nothing on Princess Mononoke. I'd like to remind everyone that tonight's episode is brought to you by Random Thoughts by Kathy.
Paper cuts hurt.
Paper cuts hurt.
Well, did I, son?
Well, I want everyone to stop and think about that for a second. Now, what inspired this? A paper cut?
Many paper cuts. No, 1,000 paper cuts. No, actually, we were just talking to a kid recently, and he actually had a little puncture when he's like, "Why does it hurt so much? It's so small." I said, "I know, that and paper cuts are the worst pain ever," and we were trying to figure out why that was. So I was having a conversation with the kid, it made me think of it. And it was just a random thought that I just had right now, and, don't expect much from me today.
So, question whether paper cuts hurt more than other things, or it just seems that way?
I honestly can't. It hurts longer than any other cut I get. Like if it's like just like a scrape or whatever, like a paper cut tends to feel bruised as well as cut for me. I don't know. It's far more painful than any other cut I can get. Except for maybe surgery. I had surgery that hurt more.
It's for good reason though. It's because you're tearing the flesh instead of cutting it clean.
True.
And is it deeper? Even though it's smaller, it goes deeper?
It cuts through more layers
Yeah.
of skin and stuff like that. Like a puncture, it's only tiny, but it actually goes pretty deep. So that's probably why it hurts more. That was a very serious, random thought.
Pain, brought to you by Kathy. Oh, wait, sorry. Kathy, brought to you by pain.
Kathy is brought to you by pain.
Yeah, so paper cuts, when you get a paper cut, they don't bleed too much. Sometimes they bleed, sometimes they don't bleed at all. The ones that don't bleed at all, leaves the nerve endings open to air, and that's why it hurts so much.
Aha.
Good thing we have a nurse on staff.
There you go, Kathy.
It's a good thing we have a medical expert on staff, or at least someone who's an expert in something.
Where'd I put my lemonade?
And where did Boo put his lemonade? That's the next question. Go Lipp. Where did he put his lemonade?
Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? We've got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, we've got a lot of work to do.
The case of the missing lemonade.
Episode
and
number 4.
And you would have gone away with that too if it wasn't
This is what
for
you
you
get.
rascally kids.
And it's not even lemonade, it's Crush.
Oh. And he's a liar.
Did I crush your hopes and dreams?
Liar.
This show is going off the rails.
It was never on the rails, it's been sinking. I don't know.
All right.
I don't know how rails and boats go together, but they do. We promise
Alright.
nothing.
Alright, let's get this back on track. I think a discussion that we were starting earlier today, don't make me hit you. As a conversation we were starting earlier today was about the upcoming superhero movies for next year, which is something I've been kind of holding up on to discuss. So let's see, we got, Deadpool?
Yay.
We got X-Men Apocalypse. We got Captain America Civil War.
Yeah.
Batman versus Superman. And I think we're getting Suicide Squad as well next year?
I believe so.
Right.
There may be one or two we've been missing. It's
we're missing the other Marvel one, which is what? Doctor Strange, I'm guessing?
I can't quite remember. It's summer superhero.
Anyway, whatever it is, it's not as big as the ones I just mentioned. So what is your choice? What's the big one? And I mean, everyone's betting on Most
Deadpool.
people are betting on Civil War. I think Deadpool.
I said Deadpool.
I know a lot of people are saying Deadpool recently. I mean, usually people's best bets will be on Civil War or Batman v Superman. But a lot of people are pumped about Deadpool, me included. And I actually think it might be the one that I think is going to be the best one. And really, because there's not a huge amount of hype to it, like... Civil War has a lot of hype to live up to, and that's what I'm a little bit afraid of. I'm afraid of it falling victim at the way as Age of Ultron did. Batman v Superman, DC's only just starting this cinematic universe, and I haven't got a clue what they got in store. They could totally falter with this. What do you guys think?
Well, what do you think of Ben Affleck as Batman?
Well, okay, let's not even go there.
No, I'm okay with it, actually. As a big Batman fan, I'm okay with it.
I thought you were going to do the hate on.
No. Give him his chance. Everyone was all, hating the Joker, but we'll see how it turns out. Yeah, Heath Ledger's the Joker. Everyone hated after he did,
Because he was a pretty blonde boy.
Yeah, and he was in Knight's Tale.
He got into the character so hard.
Absolutely. So give Ben Affleck a chance.
I would be more worried if he wasn't such a fan of Batman. And same thing with, can you imagine having to face,
Batman
Kevin
fans are
Smith
ruthless.
After doing a really bad
Comic
Batman.
fans are ruthless.
Oh,
It
yeah.
doesn't
Exactly.
even matter.
Oh yeah, anyone, you know what I mean? So that's a lot of pressure, and he is a fan himself, so I think that he will, regardless, do whatever he can to make it great. And I actually don't think he would. I've always maintained that I never thought he would make a bad Batman.
I think it's safe to say we might not have
Batman.
accepted him as Batman when he was younger, a younger actor, because well, for a lot of good reasons, but I think he's really matured over the years too. He can take that Batman role in
Batman.
different variations of it, I guess. But we just need one that's believable more than anything.
Well, I've heard that the studio greenlit a second one already because of his performance.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Well, they're definitely gonna... Batman's gonna be the Iron Man of this franchise. They're gonna focus most of the stories around Batman, and they're gonna kind of do it that way. So you're definitely gonna see a lot more Batman movies out of this.
Is this turning into Justice League?
Well, yeah,
compete
that's
with
what
the
this
Avengers?
is. That's
The start of it?
Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice.
And they're gonna focus more on Batman because they like his character better and the way he acts it better than Henry Cavill.
Towards the Superman, eh?
Superman.
Interesting.
I think they kind of have to, though, especially since most of the attention will be put on the Batman character. We've already kind of taken.
Batman's already tried and true,
Yeah, I know, but I guess with the versions that we've seen of that as of late, we've only
he already does better at the box office than Superman.
Yeah, well, Superman was just recently refreshed, right? I mean, if we're taking Henry Cavill's as the proper reboot character, I have nothing against. Sorry, I forget his name. The one that was just before him, actually. So with Superman Returns. I wasn't a big fan of the movie.
I can't quite remember.
But I can't quite just disregard the fact that he had
Ralph?
his version.
Ralph?
Brandon Routh.
Oh, okay, yeah, that one. But
He's in Arrow now as the Atom.
Yes, he is. I like it. And the new TV show that's splitting off from that, where they're going to have a team.
Oh, yes, right, yeah.
Superheroes.
I can't remember what that one's called right now. It's based off another DC comic.
with him in it, really?
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that.
As Adam.
as Adam. Yeah, he's going to be on that show.
That would be pretty cool.
It looks like I'm very excited.
Is it just me, or is it just too much all at once, though? I kind of feel like we're getting bombarded from
Well,
all
here,
sides.
that's
Supergirl.
exactly
Supergirl's
what's
another one.
gonna happen. I mean, everything's superheroes right now, and what Steven Spielberg said one day it's gonna go away westerns, how we don't see them anymore. Well, of course it's gonna happen eventually, but right now it's superhero time. I mean, next year it's gonna be dominated by superhero movies, and it'll keep being that way until we get sick of them.
So we stop buying into it, yeah. Well, that's what kind of worries me, is because, I mean, our generation, more so than ever, I think we're looking towards, the stars and all this other, philosophy crap. But I guess it's get to the point now where I think we just kind of look for those stories that are so unbelievable we can't grasp on anything else. So I think there's
many great stories told in Marvel and DC comics that I've been waiting to see on screen, and it's finally starting to happen, which is great. I love it, but yes, it's going to get too saturated. It's going to get too much.
I'm just worried they're going to
at some
overdo
point.
it.
And like I said, by the time you get to Avengers Infinity War, the final chapter, we're going to be done. Everyone's gonna check out. Like, I don't know what Marvel's gonna do at that point, if they're gonna reboot at that point, or try to carry on the characters that they have. But, I mean, definitely, we might even get sick of it before that. But definitely by the end of Infinity War Part 2, we're gonna be like, okay, we're done. Thanks for the superhero movies, time to move on to something else.
Yeah, I think you're right. You know, they're popular now, and obviously eventually they'll go out of style. But for now, I'm loving it.
Mm-hmm.
Would
Definitely
you think
love it.
There's always going to be enough nerds to carry it?
I think there will be. I just don't think it's gonna be like, right now it's big, right? And next year it's gonna be big. But it won't be as big as that. Like, it's gonna take a decline somewhere.
I think my worry personally is that they're going to keep setting the bar too high for themselves to the point where they'll do nothing but fumble every time they attempt. So, you know, good example, Batman vs. Superman. They could hit it right out of the park. Now, here's the best question of all. How do they follow up with that with an even better movie, which is the whole idea?
Justice League.
Yeah, well, I know, but that's the point. So
Right.
if they build up to a Justice League and then they drop the ball because our expectations are way too high, you know, that of what we expected from, you know, the Avengers and all that, it's getting to that point where I think they're just setting themselves up for failure.
And that's what I mean.
more.
DC took so long to get out the gate. They're starting so late. Marvel is halfway through what they've already planned. Like, I mean, they've already passed Avengers 2. And, like, I mean, you can't say, like, I mean, Man of Steel, I guess, is part 1 of this DC cinematic universe. But, I mean, look how long it took for them to get here, and we're still waiting for Batman v Superman. Why did it take so long to make this damn movie?
Yeah. Oh.
Fans have been asking for this movie for years, ever since I Am Legend. So what was the whole?
I think the difference between DC and Marvel is DC took a television route instead. Like, Green Arrow's been on the air for what? How many years? 6 years now? 5, 6. They got the Flash.
Well,
they
it's
have...
not that much. I think
No,
Arrow's only going on
I...
season 4.
No, I think it's...
Yes.
No, I think it's been out there longer than that.
No,
They took the
season
TV
4.
route. They have those 2 shows, plus they have what's the other one? Gotham, which is a big hit. So they have 3 TV shows out right now, and Marvel's trying to compete with that.
So let's
They
face
did
it.
with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and what are the other Marvel TV shows they're trying to throw
They
out
have
there?
Agent Carter, but the big one was Daredevil on Netflix.
Oh,
which
that was amazing.
Super amazing.
That was really good. So I'm excited for season 2 to come out, even though it's going to be a different main actor.
And here's
for
another
Daredevil.
difference between Marvel and DC. Those series, those shows, they are tied into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Arrow, Flash, Supergirl, they're not tied to these Justice League movies that are going to be coming out.
Well, Jpar, you're right. There's 4 seasons of Arrow, so, you know.
Well, I will agree with you, though, Lipp. I think there has been more money put into the television production than more so than film production.
Yeah.
It doesn't surprise me, though, given that there's been more profit to be had in the television business more so than ever. I mean, reality TV kind of kept it afloat for a while. Now they're draining, themselves of ideas, and of course, the superhero idea is basically what they're riding on. I even noticed Heroes is coming back, eh?
Yes, I'm actually very excited for Heroes. So, can't wait.
2 hours Thursday, and they're bringing back a whole bunch of the older characters, like Hero himself, and the Glasses Man, the cheerleaders.
So I'm gonna be honest here. I never even saw the end of Heroes because I was so just distraught and upset about how crappy season 2 was.
Oh yeah.
I kind of stopped and I stopped watching. I found out later that one of the writers actually apologized to the fans for how long he kept Hero in like feudal Japan and stuff like that. And but yeah, so it took a really big downturn. I just couldn't get through it, but I'll have to revisit it obviously if it's starting up again.
Well, they've started the reboot because they know the fans still want it, but
It's such a good concept.
It.
It's an amazing concept, and some of the hero powers were just so cool.
Yeah.
You know.
We won't have Siler, who was very exciting, but he was getting almost boring for a serial killer.
Yes.
How could they make him so boring?
I know. They kind of actually continued the story almost a little too long. He should have been the enemy for season 1. I guess he kind of turned into what an ally in season 2. I can't quite remember.
Bad ally.
Yeah, bad ally. But anyways.
And then he went into the Star Trek universe.
Yeah, and became Spock.
Spock.
Oh, is that the
Zachary
same?
Quinto.
actor,
Oh,
yes,
okay,
absolutely.
cool.
That's all right. I also had to deal with him being in the latest Agent 47 movie as well. He played a character.
Oh, you mean Hitman?
Yeah, well, the next Hitman movie, right?
Right, Hitman Agent 47.
Yeah.
I'd
Actually,
like to see
it doesn't say Hitman at all in the title. It's just Agent 47.
But it's part of the universe, the Hitman universe, is it not?
yeah.
But it has the Hitman
It's
symbol.
it's based on the Hitman universe immediately as you see it, right? I'm not disregarding that. It even has, like you said, the symbol. It has
But it doesn't
the
have
iconic
Hitman
ball.
gotcha.
The ballers, as I think they refer to it as, his double pistols. Actually, what I loved it even more so. I'm sidetracking.
Yeah, you are getting sidetracked. We're not going to talk about Agent 47 later. Maybe we'll review it.
Different review.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to the superhero genre movies and shows.
Actually, you know what I do?
Deadpool.
Oh, yeah.
Right,
Sorry,
everyone's calling Deadpool as the big one.
Well, it's not Fantastic Four 2.
Oh,
Oh, God. Beating a dead horse.
Stop! It's already dead!
When will the hurting stop?
Oh, God.
Poor Fantastic Four.
Listen to the fans. Oh, God.
Okay, yeah, I know. I read an article, and that's what it was. Like the question, Fantastic Four, what went wrong? What do you mean, what went wrong? Listen to the motherfucking comic fans, you fucking assholes. Look what Marvel's doing. Follow this concept. They're doing great. They're keeping the fans pleased. They're doing what the fans want.
Well, it's Joss Whedon.
But it's not all Joss Whedon. It's a collection of people.
Sorry, I think Joss Whedon's a god, so...
Yeah, but his involvement isn't that much in it.
Did
But
he
yes, he
write
does have a big
Avengers?
hand in
He
it.
wrote Avengers, and
He directed Avengers,
Directed it.
Avengers 2, and he has a hand in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, so he has pretty heavy hand in it.
He does,
He's
but
also-
he's not going to be in the next set of movies. He's not going to be in there.
Yeah, he said he was going to back off.
Well, they don't want him either because they want a more serious tone now going forward.
Well, screw them.
He always has a good amount of
I don't
seriousness
know, like-
with a little bit of laugh in there.
Yeah.
And then plus,
Okay,
it's
I'm
just
not
the
gonna
emotions
take-
down your throat.
I'm not going to take anything away from Joss Whedon, but
Let's go
Age
on.
of Ultron was a little too jokey for me. There was too many cheesy lines in there.
I feel like
it
they-
took away from the serious tone that it could have had. Like, I don't know.
Don't want
It was
my
very
superhero
Buffy.
serious.
It was very Buffy.
Well,
I like that. But
I feel
disagree.
like really they told him.
I'm not
look,
a big
aim
fan
it
of
for
Agents of
kids.
S.H.I.E.L.D. either.
You know what? I feel like they told him aim it for kids. We need to sell these
Well,
action
they totally
figures. We
did.
need to- you know, so throw in a couple more kiddie comments and then hide a couple adult ones in there to make the adults laugh and everybody's happy.
But really, I think what the main thing was is like they wanted you to get to use the idea that the Avengers were a team in this one, and that they're good friends and they know each other because they knew going forward that they're doing a Civil War storyline. So that's what's going to happen. There'll be two sides. One side will be Cap. One side will be Iron Man. And some people are predicting that Cap might die in Captain America 3, Civil War, because it happens in the comics. I don't think so. If he's gonna go, I'm thinking Infinity War.
We'll see.
He's
going
gonna
one
go.
way or another.
Yeah,
he's gone.
He's gone.
He's
He's
gonna get
go.
killed
But where?
for a while.
Infinity War.
For
That's
a
when
while.
Thanos
Then he
shows
comes
up
back.
and he kills like a whole bunch of heroes. That's totally the time to do it, because that's when contracts are going to be up. It's going to be time to recast. They start like they already did Avengers 3. That'll be Avengers 4, really, when you think about it, because Infinity War is going to be part 1 and 2.
Well, Cap will die and Bucky will take over. That like in
Or
the
Sam
comics,
Sam Wilson.
No, I think it's gonna be Bucky.
No, it definitely could be.
Okay, can we put it
Because
back on
they've
track?
already put Bucky.
Deadpool. We're not talking about Deadpool
Oh.
anymore.
Well, okay, I mean Civil War is a big thing too.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I don't even know I don't know what to tell people about Deadpool.
Well, I'm excited
if you
for it.
haven't seen the trailer for it, it's an R-rated superhero flick, and it's fucking Deadpool, the most.
sarcastic,
In your
fourth
face.
wall breaking.
Pretentious.
But not only that, the costume of Deadpool is the most true to any, like, the most true transition I've seen for a superhero costume. You know what I mean? Like, he looks like they ripped Deadpool right out of the pages of the comic, and there he is on the screen. Whereas, like, you see all these other costumes that are kind of, like, modified, or, you even have, like, X-Men, where they didn't even have costumes. They're wearing friggin' Matrix outfits.
They even make a joke, what are you gonna do? What am I gonna wear? A yellow
Those-
jumpsuit?
I know,
Yeah.
yeah, you guys should have wore that. I would go with costumes over fucking everyone wearing leather.
Yeah, Deadpool looks hilarious though. I actually love the scene where he takes off his mask. He's sitting across the table from T.J. Miller. He's just like, "Oh my God, you're so ugly. Your face looks like an avocado.
Yeah,
I had sex
yeah, it
with an
is.
older
Yeah.
avocado." And just
And
keeps ripping
T.J.
his
Miller's
face.
hilarious.
Yeah, I'm actually very excited for it.
Well, that's good.
Plus,
that's Ryan Reynolds for you, though. That's
yeah.
his voice in itself and his acting style that actually lends to
Oh,
the
hell.
Deadpool
He
easily.
tweets like that.
Plus, I'm
Yeah,
not
no, I
quite
know.
sure how he makes it into it, but I've seen Colossus in the trailer, which is another one of my favorite superheroes, favorite X-Men almost, probably up there with Wolverine. Love Colossus. So
Really?
he makes an appearance in Deadpool. At least I believe
Yeah.
in the trailer.
So that'll be tying the X-Men movies to it. It's, eventually they'll have a Deadpool and X-Men crossover.
Well, you have to because Wolverine and Deadpool is freaking hilarious.
Now, is there also a
But
couple
plus,
other
with Hugh
mutants in there?
Jackman's going to be done soon, right? So they need more star power, like Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool or Channing Tatum as Gambit.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
Sorry.
I can't remember.
The girls.
The
got
women
all-
just swooned.
Underpaid.
Everyone, I just want to, because I said the ch and the tin thing. So yeah, and also X-Men Apocalypse coming out too, which I'm not super excited, but I'm never really super excited about X-Men movies. But this one does look cool, of course, just like Days of Future Past was good, but not super good. I mean, Apocalypse looks like Ivan Ooze from the Power Rangers movie, but I mean, Psylocke's in it. She looks true to form. I mean, aside from Deadpool being the most true to, like, the most perfect costume from the comics, like, Psylocke looks dead on as well.
Oh, that's good because she's sexy in the comics.
She is played
Just
played by Olivia Munn. All right, now
Oh,
guys.
good call, good
Painted
call.
on in the comic books, like they're just gonna paint it on in the movie too.
It's an outfit. It's not painted on.
Can't wait.
It's
I can't wait.
painted on.
That's gonna be great. Storm has a mohawk.
Interesting.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
That's old
I've been
school Storm,
waiting to see like Storm with a mohawk. That's awesome.
That's 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
definitely. That's
very
old school
80s.
Storm. I like
Yeah.
that version of Storm.
Who are the
Cool.
four horsemen of Apocalypse? Didn't they change
I'm
it?
thinking it might be Storm and Psylocke might be two of them because they're standing with Apocalypse in the picture.
Ooh, interesting.
So I think they might be two at least. I don't know who the other two are going to be. Here's my guess: Hugh Jackman. They're not saying he's in the movie, but I'm thinking he might appear in the movie. He might be one of the horsemen actually.
Yeah, you know.
Because Wolverine was one of the horsemen at one time, wasn't he?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
But Hugh Jackman didn't want to continue the character after his contract ran out, but he's such a good guy that if the fans asked for it, I think he'd do it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Well, here's what they're saying. They're saying Wolverine 3 or the Wolverine 2, whatever you want to call it, because they're trying to forget about X-Men Origins Wolverine
Oh,
as much as they
I wonder
can.
why.
Yeah, because it was like the worst X-Men movie of all of them.
Oh, man.
But anyways, yeah. So apparently Wolverine 3 is supposed to be his last one, right? And they're like, that's definitely, he could still definitely appear in X-Men Apocalypse. It's coming out before that one.
Might they make it a younger version of him? Like they can.
Well, they could.
Time
You're right. It could be a
manipulation
younger
and make
version of them because it is all the younger versions of the X-Men in this. Jean Grey is coming back as well, which is going to be played by what's that girl's name? Plays Sansa in Game of
Sansa
Thrones.
Stark?
Yes, in Game of Thrones. That's who's going to be Jean Grey.
Okay, I can see it.
Oh, definitely.
She's good with the red hair.
Yeah, well, hair isn't the big.
I know.
As long as she doesn't have an accent, you know what I mean? Then it might be. But then again, we'd probably still accept it anyways because everyone loves English actors, right?
And she has a beautiful buttocks. Just saying.
Hey, whoa, slow down, Ramsey. Don't sexualize Sansa just yet.
Oh, listen, Reed. Can't have any of that.
She's pretty young. We try to
Do I look
sexualize
like
her.
Mr. Sticky Fingers to you? Oh, these get so bad.
Yes.
Sorry.
Oh yes, there's also going to be a new young Nightcrawler as well, which I'm very excited to see in the X-Men Apocalypse movie.
Absolutely.
I'm so happy to see Nightcrawler come back.
I thought the guy who played Nightcrawler in
It's not him.
No, but I thought he set up a really great character.
Yes.
He did very good job at it. He's way too old to be Nightcrawler.
Well,
now.
he didn't want the to put the makeup on again for the next time.
Well, he's also nominated for Emmys at this point. He
doesn't have to be in
he doesn't
superhero
care.
movies.
Yeah, but he's set up such a great character when he played it.
He played Nightcrawler so well.
Yeah, it was perfect.
Are we talking about the Nightcrawler at the beginning of X-Men movies when?
X-Men 2?
Yeah, that one. Okay.
Yeah.
Someone correct me if I'm wrong though, but I swear he looks very much. I don't know, almost like the guy who played Pee Wee Herman. I feel like it's the same.
Yeah, Paul Rubens?
Yeah, I feel like it looks like Paul Rubin, if that's his name. Sorry, but that was just something that always stuck with me the entire time, ever since I've seen Nightcrawler.
Hey, Wolverine! Can I join the X-Men? Bamf!
What's the word?
Imagine him popping in and out of a room. Oh, where did Fat Albert come from? Sorry.
It's Fat Nightcrawler!
I'm gonna sing a song.
It's a good thing I can teleport everywhere, because I'm so fat.
I always wanted Nightcrawler in more X-Men movies, but I heard there's too many blue characters between Mystique and Beast and Nightcrawler. You know.
Now they make all the characters blue.
Yeah.
Well, they just invite the Blue Man team there.
Aren't they all the kids of Mystique and
Well,
Magneto?
Nightcrawler is he not?
Two of them are.
I think
Mystique's
Nightcrawler is
son.
Mystique's son, I believe. I don't know if he's adopted in the sense that Rogue was adopted by Mystique, or if he actually is. I'm not sure about that, to be quite honest.
I believe he was, but I could be mistaken.
Well, some people say it's Azazel, which is the character, the red demon-looking guy in First Class, who had the similar powers to Nightcrawler and Mystique. And then there was another thing, it was Mystique and Sabretooth. And I was like, okay, well, I don't know. They changed the story a couple times, I think.
Oh yeah, all the stories have been rewritten 5 or 6 times.
Azazel was the red version of Nightcrawler in First Class.
Yeah, he was on the evil team.
Yeah, he was on
Magneto's team.
Was it Magneto's team or was
The
it?
Brotherhood?
It was part of the
Brotherhood
before
Kevin
he became
Bacon's
the official-
character.
Yeah,
His
exactly.
team, maybe.
His team
Oh,
that
okay,
initiated.
okay.
And he played. I can't even remember that character's name, but he's a character from X-Men as well.
What was his powers again?
I don't even remember. It was. I don't remember his character. Damn. I'll have to look that up. Once I look it up, I'll know immediately. But yeah, so I guess everyone's best bet is on Deadpool.
My vote's on Deadpool for the best superhero movie of the year.
Yeah, that'll
I
be
agree.
great.
100% agree.
Yeah.
Could be
I
wrong,
still
but
can't wait to see what Civil War and Batman v Superman has in store for us. But
we got a lot of good movies coming out this summer. Can't wait.
No, I mean, I am looking forward to Deadpool, but I'm also actually looking forward to seeing Gambit in a movie, and not for the reasons you think, not because it's Channing Tatum or anything. Gambit's always been one of my favorites, and I don't know if it's because he has that.
The
All
Raging
right.
Cajun. The Raging Cajun.
Yeah.
He's got that attitude because he and Deadpool both have that same screw you attitude, and they're funny when they say it.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. I think I don't know. I've always been intrigued by Gambit.
yeah, they never done Gambit right, so I hope they do it right.
I'm very sad. Yeah.
Channing Tatum, you better speak with a French accent at the very least, motherfucker. All right,
Please.
now before we only, believe it or not, folks, we only have about 8 minutes left, so let's wrap this up. What is your mutant power? What would your mutant power be if you got to choose what your mutant power is?
What's yours? Jay started off.
Oh god, I mean teleporting's so good, right? But also, how could you beat telepathy? Like Xavier's power, it's like so powerful.
There's so many. Okay, so what kind of teleportation would you like? Kind of Nightcrawlers where you can teleport anywhere within view?
I'd have to go with Xavier's. I mean, it's like his power is almost ultimate. You know what I mean? In some way,
Yeah.
he's not like a fighter, but I mean, he could. The way they make
The
him in the
mental game.
movies, he's so OP. Like, he just stops everyone in their tracks. I was gonna say, hey, I want my power to freeze time, but doesn't Xavier basically fucking do that with his power?
Yeah. Control your mind and take control.
See, that's why I didn't want to go first.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one.
Or, like, I mean, obviously the cool thing is to say, I want fucking superhero healing power like Wolverine, but then you never die, and I mean, I don't know. But telepathy, you hear everyone's voices.
Would it be good to know all the bad things everyone's saying about you?
Right, yeah. Maybe it wouldn't be such a good thing.
I'd go with Jean Grey over
Dr. X. You can say Professor X.
Professor X. I'd go with Jean Grey over Professor X because she's a little more kick-ass, and she's got the legs.
Yeah, but eventually the Phoenix takes her over, and
Even better.
yeah, but then she can't
But she-
control herself, and she kills all her loved ones.
Yeah, but then she comes back from that eventually, and she's got super uber powers. She is kick ass.
All right.
Hey, that's my choice.
All right, that's cool.
What about you, Boo?
I think for me, I might actually keep it a little simpler. I think I kind of had a thing for, I guess you could say the spidey sense idea, like this idea of knowing that if there's danger nearby, I could sense it immediately, so I could then evade it or whatever. It's almost like the spider sense was for me the easiest thing I could fall for.
Yeah, but that just warns you. That doesn't protect you.
Well, yeah, I know, but that's part of his mutant powers, right? And that was for me. That was
Spider-Man's
one
not a
thing
mutant.
Oh my lord! Here we go with the whole mutant versus.
Semantics.
I mean, if
Yeah.
you want
You got
that to
that.
be your power, I suppose.
You
I don't-
didn't say that he had to choose one that existed.
No, I don't care. If that's what you want, I'm just saying it doesn't protect you.
Okay, how are we talking about ones that existed? They're all part of the comic book universe.
I'm saying Spider-Man's not a mutant, so his ability doesn't come from mutant abilities.
Okay, fine. If we're gonna be technical about it.
I'm not
in terms
saying
of
that
what
it
was
couldn't
born.
happen. It could.
Oh, I thought we
totally.
could pick any superhero.
Well,
I
you
didn't know it had
definitely
to, I
could.
didn't know it had to be a mutant.
You
one.
definitely could, but I'm just saying you can pick something better.
Okay, well, for being technical about being a mutant, I guess, if anything, maybe this idea of you can actually mutate your skin into something hard, like protect
Yeah.
yourself in
The
that
diamonds.
respect,
The diamond
like
skin.
Metapod.
I didn't want to say diamonds because I understood that those could shatter, and I don't like the idea of me shattering.
So you would be like,
Colossus.
Titanium. Just titanium man.
I guess.
so you'd
I
be the
don't know.
White Queen then.
Vibranium.
You'd be like, what?
Emma Frost.
Emma Frost, sure.
You'd have like the diamond skin.
Well, again, I'm not picking diamonds because.
But I'm pretty sure there's another one that actually touch things and they actually turn into that object or something.
Yeah, no, I remember you mentioning that one too, and I remember seeing that. I think in.
Absorbing Man does that, but I'm sure there's a mutant that does it too. Actually.
There is an evil mutant who does absorb kinetic energy,
Yeah.
which is actually a very powerful ability.
Mm-hmm.
Kathy, what's your superpower?
Don't forget, even Mystique's ability is still a good one.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Mystique was very
The
good.
ability to turn into anyone.
There's so many good ones.
Or
It's-
Scarlet
there's no
Witch.
bad answer.
Well,
Except
because
maybe
I just
those.
don't
always wanted
understand
to
Scarlet
travel.
Witch's abilities.
She can see the
You want to
future.
be Blink?
I'd want to teleport.
So Blink.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so that's hold on. My question. I like the teleportation, but how do you teleport?
Right,
Is
because
it-
Blink's ability to teleport
is-
and Nightcrawler's ability to teleport are very different.
Well, I just want to be able to just say, oh, I feel like, oh, look, I want to go
Blink
see
opens a
the-
portal, and Nightcrawler. You obviously want that route because Nightcrawler could get himself stuck in
inside.
something if
Yeah,
he
I would
teleports into
prefer
it.
a portal, obviously.
Yeah.
So that way I know
You could
where
bring
to go
everyone
through.
with you. I mean, because
Let's
Nightcrawler.
go to Paris. Okay.
Okay, everyone hang on, let's
I
go.
love that fight scene with Blink in it, where
Oh.
everyone's just jumping through portals and kicking each other. It's so
Right?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Right, and so I would like that, or I would also like healing capabilities if I could do that.
So the Wolverine
it's
route,
kind
eh?
of like a
The immor-
not
heal
not
others.
heal others, like not
Heal others.
necessarily just myself, but to heal others.
I know in the new X-Men, there are mutants within the college or the academy that their powers is to only heal others. They can't heal themselves. They have the ability to heal others. Very complete support mutant ability, which is kind of cool.
No, I would totally do that.
Actually, I take my choice back. I don't want to be like Xavier because I don't want all those voices in my head. I got enough in there already. I would take the Mystique power actually of turning into anyone.
transformation, eh?
Yeah.
You'd look great, Blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, I'd have to strip down every time I turn into someone, but whatever. It's not gonna matter because I can make clothes of myself, right? So.
Yeah, I guess my choice would be I'm gonna say Hero's power from Heroes. Teleport like Kathy, but time and space.
Oh, Hero's ability.
Yes, yeah. So you go forward 2 days in time, find out the lotto numbers, come back, buy a lotto ticket, then reap all the benefits, tons of money, and just teleport. Oh, I want to be in Hawaii or something. Boop, over there.
All those timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly rules that come along.
Yeah, he can't quite control it. I would want to have total control of it.
So you don't end up in feudal Japan. Like
Yeah,
that?
I assume I'm a master of my
You'll
mutant
have
power.
to learn quantum mechanics before you can get this power, right? Or else you'll erase yourself from existence.
You'll end up in feudal Japan, and then the Ninja Turtles will be there. Oh, dude!
I got to avoid any
Help me! I'm a turtle. I
paradoxes.
can't get up.
I have to avoid myself and then make sure to come back very quickly to avoid any paradoxes where I die.
Don't kill your grandpa.
Yeah.
Or
Don't
you
be my
have
own
to be your
grandpa.
grandpa.
Yeah, like Fry.
Yeah.
Nice.
I am my own grandpa.
Wow.
Well, is that it for tonight?
Well, believe it or not,
On that
we're
note.
almost at an hour, which is quite amazing. And I think that's about it. We discussed a few topics and reviewed Princess Mononoke, amongst other things. So this is Jpar signing out.
Lipp.
Boo.
Robin.
And remember, if you heard anything on the show that you disagree with or you think that we got wrong, hey, what can I say? We promise nothing.
Nada.
Good night, everybody.
Tell us which horror movie to review.